Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm just gonna put some makeup on and we'll see what happens. I am just filming some videos for my yoga channel. We're trying to. I've been playing around with it the past couple days and nothing's quite worked out how I imagined it. But I think I'm closer to figuring it out. So that's what I am doing this afternoon. So I want to put some makeup on. I right now have a little concealer under my eyes and my brows on. Let me put my hair back. So I'm going to throw some eye primer on really quick. This is, of course, my Wet n Wild Fergie primer. I am almost out of it. I've been saying that for months. It will not end, which I'm not upset about because I love it. But I do have the new Wet n Wild formula. And maybe I should test it out while I still have some of this to see if it's the same. I've heard that it is and I've heard that it isn't, so I'm not sure. I'm going to use the last little bit of this e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. My lips, it's wintertime. They're just almost always dry. I'm going to put the Cerave Ointment on my lips as my lip balm. I scrape off any last bits of the e.l.f. residue. I like that stick though. I haven't tried any of the new flavored ones. That's just the original flavor, but for, I think it was $3. It's lasted me a long time, and it works. So there's that. Got my lips moisturizing, got my eyes primed, got my eyebrows on, so I don't have to worry about that. So let's move on to eyes. And I am going to do, I think actually, I'm not using any limited edition products, except, you know, a couple discontinued ones. But for the most part, this is all going to be stuff that you can actually get. I don't personally have a problem with people using limited edition products, but I have used some in, I think, every video so far on this channel. Granted, this is like the fourth one. So let's not use the Vice 4 eye palette, and let's use the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. Now, I had originally gotten this palette. I know it's a little bit kitschy and cutesy. I don't mind. When I first got this palette, I was actually kind of disappointed. I almost returned it. I was really, really excited about this Earl Grey shade. Because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, those are going to be some epic smoky eyes. And it's just not. It's not a deeply pigmented product. You can put it over like a black or navy blue base and then you can get a pretty nice smoky eye. But for the most part, these are pretty shadows for sure. But, you know, this was different than what I expected, is really the short version of the story. But the more I've used it, the more I've actually come to really love this palette. All right, so I'm going in with no plan whatsoever. So we're just going to see what happens. So I'm going to first start with Divinity, which is this kind of cream shade. It has some glitter in it, but it's very fine, and I don't find that I notice it much on my eye. I like to use this as just a base over my primer so things blend well. And I'm using the Real Techniques Base Shadow Brush. So I'm just going to kind of put that all over my lid and up to the brow bone. I'm going to next go into Almond Truffle, this kind of cool beigey grayish shade. I'm going to bring that into and blend up my natural crease. From my natural crease. Oh dear. I think what I'm actually going to do is go into Satin Sheets right here, which is a really gorgeous, gorgeous color. It's kind of a pinky, goldy, champagne-y, almost a highlight color. It actually can be a really nice highlight on the face. I'm just going to bring that into the first, maybe third, first half of my lid. All right, now I'm going to go into Bordeaux, which is one of my favorite shades, oddly, or odd to me anyway, from this palette. It's kind of a warm, almost reddish, chocolatey color. It's really, really pretty. It's a matte. And I'm going to just put that on the outer corner. This is with that Real Techniques base shadow brush again. Kind of in a little V shape. Not worried about blending too much at the moment. Do that with a blending brush. Although you can blend with this brush. If I was to have all of my eye brushes taken away and I could just use one, it would be this. So it's got this nice point, so you can do a little bit more precise work like I'm doing here. It's got a nice flat end, which can be used to pack on shadow. And it's fluffy enough that you could use it to blend if you wanted to. Okay, I'm switching back to my e.l.f. crease brush just to help blend that in a little bit more. Just soften it, going back and forth and then making little circles. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try using a little bit of black currant in that outer corner, in that outer edge, which is a purpley, sparkly, it's a pretty color. It's not vibrantly purple, as you'll see in a moment. I'm going to try to do the right side here. The video is kind of mirrored to what I'm seeing in real life. So I keep kind of turning away from you, and I apologize. Let's just pack that out on the outer corner. This is the shading brush again. So maybe you can see it's not, like I said, it's not a vibrant purple, but it does add a little bit of that flavor, if you will. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of eyeliner. I want this to be quite a soft look, so I'm using my e.l.f. black cream eyeliner, gel eyeliner in this little pot here. It's actually really, really nice. I just took a little bit out on my hand, and I'm going to be using the fine liner brush from Real Techniques. So I want to bring this into the upper waterline just to add a little bit more fullness to the lashes. It's a subtle difference, so this is a step you could skip if you prefer, or you could just tuck this into the lash line very thin. Or if you wanted more of an eyeliner look, go thicker. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that eyeliner and just line the upper lash line, the outer corner, making it a little bit thicker. And then just thinning it out about halfway in. So that'll help create a little bit more of a slinky shape, which I tend to like. I'm really bad at not doing the right side. Sorry. Getting there. I think I'm saying a lot less in this video. Okay, and I'm going to just bring a little bit along the bottom lash line, just the outer corner. Not on the waterline necessarily, although you certainly could. Kind of meet up the top and bottom. We're going to blend all this out. One of the reasons I'm using the e.l.f. rather than like a liquid is that this will blend. So now I'm going to take Real Techniques accent brush and just start to go over that line a little bit. We're going to put some shadow on top just to make it blend a little bit more with the eye look we got going. And again, to soften it up, make it a little bit more smudgy. Let's just keep this accent brush. Let me go into Dark Truffle, which is the darkest shade in this palette, right? Yeah, darkest shade in this palette. It is shimmery. I think Bordeaux is probably the darkest matte shade. But dark truffle, nice deep rich brown. Tapping that on the accent brush. Going on the right side. I'm just kind of going over top and blending in. Okay, now since I already have my concealer on, I'm just going to go right to the bottom lash line. Now I'm going to take the Real Techniques eyeliner brush. This is a limited edition version from the NYX Pics holiday brush collection from either last year or the year before. I'm going to go into Black Currant, that purpley shade we used on the upper lash line, or upper lid. And I'm going to, nice catch, right? I'm going to follow the bottom lash line and blend in towards the inner corner. Not quite all the way. A little bit more than the eyeliner, but only using what's kind of left over on the brush. So I'm going to dip back into Divinity, that first shade we used, that cream, and I'm just going to blend in with the e.l.f. crease brush just that kind of outer edge, just to soften it up a little bit more. As you may have noticed if you've watched any other videos, I don't tend to worry too much about a brow highlight. I don't know why, it's not a conscious choice, I just usually don't think of it. That works fine for me. And then I'm going to go into the accent brush one more time, and I think for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to go into sprinkles. Maybe a little bit of sprinkles and satin sheets. Actually, I'm going to grab sprinkles, the pink, it's a pale pink, and just bring that along where the purple ends, the black currant ends, over to the inner corner. And then I'm going to go back into satin sheets. Or, yeah, back into satin sheets. We'll just bring that around. Inner corner. There we go. All right, I am happy with that. Just to finish up the eyes, I'm going to throw on some mascara. This is the Urban Decay Perversion. This is a little travel size. Okay, there's the eyes done. Again, in theory, I have been sitting here for half an hour, but in theory, this is a pretty quick look, and you can adjust the shades and the intensity to make this very kind of wearable, neutral, everyday, or to really, you know, smoke it up and have it be a fun, like, party look. Throw some glitter on there. It'd be great. Okay, moving on to the skin. I'm going to be using a mix of the NYX BB Cream in the shade Nude and the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. This is in light 44. This is just a little too dark. Not necessarily when I first put it on, but this foundation definitely does oxidize a bit. And it's quite heavy. I don't really need or want such a heavy foundation all the time. It's nice to have the option, for sure, but I generally like to mix the two. The NYX BB Cream is just like the perfect shade for me. If this shade came in a foundation, that would be super awesome. Haven't found it yet. And this thins it out just a little bit and brings the color just a bit down. So I'm just gonna, super fancy, mix it together with my finger. I'm not using a primer today. I'm gonna blend that in with the Real Techniques Complexion Sponge. Let's see, is this mirror? Yeah, this mirror will work. I definitely need a new one. I love this sponge, and I really like how it blends in this particular mix. It's a little bit damp. Now, if you like a glowy look, you could just stay like this. This is a really nice way to kind of keep everything looking really fresh, if that's your thing. As a more oily person, I need to set. All right, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild CoverAll powder in Fair on an e.l.f. complexion brush. This is an awesome, awesome powder brush. Nice and soft and fluffy. And $3. Fantastic. The one thing I will say about the e.l.f. brushes that I've noticed is the handle and the ferrule can come loose, but you can just glue it right back on. All right, I'm not sure if I'm going to contour or anything, but I definitely want to blush. And I am using today this Milani Rose Blush in Coral Cove. It's a little bit brighter in person. It's awesome. On an e.l.f. blush brush, this is quite a pigmented blush. So you don't need much. You can just kind of lightly tap. I'm going to contour just a little bit. I'm using the e.l.f. Contour Palette, so I'm using the kind of cooler shade on a Real Techniques, I think this is called the Cheek Brush. All the writing has worn off. This again was from the NYX Pics collection, which I obviously got. I like it a lot, except I lost. It came with this, that angled brush that I use a lot. It came with another base shadow brush. I'm also going to bring that up into my hairline, as you can see. And it came with a duo fiber powder brush, which was a lot of the reason that I got the set, and I promptly lost it. Must have like fallen into the trash or something. I don't know, but I think I got to use it once, which was unfortunate. Might as well just use the highlight that's in here. Ooh, glare. Sorry. It's a pretty kind of yellowy golden highlight, and what's nice, I like the e.l.f. highlights that are in these palettes because they're not too crazy. They're nice if you like a subtle highlight. I'm just going to use that same cheek brush because so it just adds a nice glow. If you like, you know, see it from the moon highlights, this is probably not going to be your thing. For lips, I'm going in with a Bite Beauty lipstick. This is the shade Husk. It's in one of the duos that Sephora sells. I'm not sure if this duo is available. I'll check and write it somewhere. I'm pretty sure this color is still available. Might be a slightly different formula, but I think the new lipsticks, a lot of the shades carried over, but I will double check. Anyway, it's really pretty, very comfortable. And I'm just pinky nude. I'd actually like just a little bit more gloss. I've always been a fan of glossy lips, and I'm excited to see that I think they're starting to kind of make their way back into fashion. But I'm going to be using a NYX Butter Gloss. This is in the shade Creme Brulee. And again, it's a nice kind of neutrally pinky nude. It does have some color payoff. You could just use this, but I'm just going to put a little bit in the center of my lips. Help them look just a little more full. And that, guys, is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you have any feedback, if you have any requests. I have a few different kind of series ideas floating around in my head, so hopefully there will be more content and I can be consistent with this and all that good stuff. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Bye.